freedom,
family,
world unity,
all these things and more will be discussed on this podcast.
real stories, real people, real debates. On this podcast, we like to express our freedoms and talk about anything and everything goes.
Like freedom, family is important to us, and anybody that is listening, watching, or coming on the show as a guest star are all considered part of the greatest family to ever bless the solar system, the human race. No matter who you are, where you come from, you will always have a voice here on this podcast.
We like to flex our First Amendment, where all speeches and opinions are accepted for the right of freedom of speech. We have a saying we like to live by. Live life with eyes wide open. Being open-minded leads to true understanding of the world as it really is. Please, come, join us, and enjoy this experience as we embark on this journey of truth as we dismantle the subjective truth. I'm your host, Nick.
And I'm your co-host, Victoria.
And you're experiencing high consciousness.
Disclaimer. Any and all information on topics presented are to the best of all who is present in each episode's knowledge. The goal of this podcast is to bring people together and set the example we all wish to see in our everyday lives. Whether it's home life, education, politics, history, business, etc. Any and all subjects can and will be talked and peacefully debated about on this podcast. On debate episodes, there will be a set rules of debate that hosts and guests alike must follow. We ask that you, the audience, like we ask of our guests, in the comments to please try to keep the language as clean as possible. We are a podcast for entertainment as well as educational purposes. Here we are all equal no matter what race, age, or gender. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Hi, y'all, and welcome back
To another episode of
High Consciousness.
I'm your host, Nick.
I'm your co-host, Victoria.
And we are
High Consciousness.
Welcome back, folks, and this Sunday is, as we all know, is Super Bowl what? Sunday. So we're doing a sports edition of... What was that?
Your phone.
Oh, you threw my phone out, did you? But anyway, y'all. Today's a sports edition episode of High Consciousness. And you might wonder yourself, well, what are y'all going to be doing? Talking about sports? No. What we're going to be talking about is what exactly, babe?
Well, yes, we are talking about sports.
But what kind of sports, though?
Who played the first game of football? Who played the first game of baseball? And how to grill the perfect hamburger?
Not the perfect hamburger? Why not a cheeseburger?
Hamburger, cheeseburger. I can't say same diff because one got cheese and the other doesn't. So, with that being said, let's get into it!
And our fun, handy dandy, fun fact, fun book.
Yup.
American book.
Our little America fun facts. Number 7. Let's go! Who played the first game of football? Every American knows the basics of football. Teams advance across a gridiron to score touchdowns. There are huge goalposts. Players wear helmets and shoulder pads. There are field goals and interceptions and timeouts.
Yep.
But if you time traveled back to November 6, 1869, to watch what many call the first college football game, you'd immediately notice that it was nothing at all like the game you know and love. When teams from Rutgers and Princeton beat each other to a pulp that day on a field in New Brunswick, New Jersey, they were playing a game more closely resembling soccer or rugby. And no one wore helmets. Nobody. In fact, some of the players wore brightly colored turbans so that their teammates could tell them apart from their opponents. Huh.
Well, there's no such thing as a color scheme back then. No
That's
leather
actually
heads.
really interesting.
No leather heads. Nothing.
I didn't know that they, wore turbans. I know eventually they, had the leather helmets and stuff, but, the turbans, that's new to me. By the way, Rutgers won 6-4. Rematches were hard to evaluate because every team had its own rules for how the game was played.
Oh, wow.
When you played on their turf, you played by their rules. On some days, the game looked like soccer. On others, it was a scrappy variant of rugby. Either way, players went home bloodied. Or dead.
Ah! Dead, huh?
Well, unalive.
Unlived, huh?
Unalive. Ooh, okay.
So people just died, huh? On the football field. People died for this sport, literally.
Literally dying for the love of the game. Talk about dying for what you love, right?
That's right.
In the 1870s, organizers began meeting in Massachusetts to hammer out stricter rules because critics complained the game was too dangerous, and teams were having trouble convincing their universities to let them play. A frequent attendee and contributor at these rule talks was a young Yale student and football team captain named Walter Camp, now regarded as the father of American football. Camp purged all the vestiges of rugby from the game and dreamed up an entirely new one, complete with new rules, field designs, and even a unique method of scoring. Football historians say the game really started in 1882, the day Camp imagined the gridiron, but there would be further innovations along the way. According to the Football Hall of Fame, the first official pro game was played on November 12th, 1892, when one player, William Pudge Heffelfinger...
Heffelfinger.
What is up with these weird last names? Like, what was your ancestors doing? Or, well, no, they probably had to have, they probably had to have money or something. They must have been very rich to have, the name Heffelfinger.
No, this is Heffel. Does it have really hefty...
Heffelfinger, meaning very hefty or thick fingers. Which usually was a sign of you were very rich or you were of nobility. You were very well off.
Because you were fat.
Because you were fat. The first official pro game was played on November 12th, 1892, when one player, William Pudge Heffelfinger, pocketed $500 to play for the Allegheny Athletics against the Pittsburgh Athletics. Allegheny won 4-0.
4-0, huh? Oh, that's what he looks. That's what he looks like, Heffelfinger. What a handsome young man.
But you could tell them chubby cheeks. There's chubby cheeks in there.
That's so. All right. Now, I guess am I reading so I guess it's my turn.
Who played the first game of baseball?
That's fine.
Our lovely host Nick is going to read.
Well, that depends on whom you ask. It seems that an early version of baseball appeared in England in the 18th century and evolved side by side with cricket and other stick and ball games. The Oxford English Dictionary claims that the word baseball just appeared in Jane Austen's book Northanger Abbey, published in 1796. But nearly 20 years earlier, during the Revolutionary War, a young officer in George Washington's army recorded that soldiers at Valley Forge played at base to kill time. These early games were played by kids, families, hobbyists, and other amateurs using rules on the fly. The first game using official rules took place on June 19th, 1846. And on that day, the New York Nine trounced. Not the New York Nine. Nah. Trounced the New York Knickerbockers. Knickerbockers.
I thought that was just a joke. We were actually called the Knickerbockers.
Yes, y'all were called the Knickerbockers. Y'all got stomped 23-1.
Like the New York Knicks.
You got stomped by the Nine.
The reason why it's the Knicks is because of Knickerbockers. You know that, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dang, Frankie.
I don't follow basketball.
I'm sorry, y'all. Frankie decided that they wanted to be off frame today.
This is baseball. This is worse.
Oh God.
This is baseball.
But then, how did the New York Knicks get the Knickerbockers? They probably switch over the name.
You can change. Yeah, you can change the name.
Yeah, the name changes over time.
You can change the name whenever you want. Oh, yep.
Shiitake
mushrooms. Oh. I love them. They're delicious. Especially on steak and onions. Sauteed.
Steak and onions, bro.
I like portobello better.
Huh? I agree. Portobellos are more savory and smoky.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, but the shiitake mushrooms, though.
They're too salty for me.
That's good. I love it.
Go continue.
Continue with the Knickerbockers?
that got trounced 23-1 on a field in Hoboken, New Jersey.
That's where the cake man's from. The cake boss. Hoboken, New Jersey.
Yeah, they make some good cakes. I had one of their
Carlos
factory
Bakery.
cakes. Yeah, Carlos factory cakes are don't even mess with them. They can't, like, they're expensive. Just like the slice alone, you get a big chunk of slice and then like 3 different cakes in one. They're delicious.
You said don't even mess with them. What do you mean don't mess with
No,
them?
mess
It
with
sounds
them.
like I do want to mess with them,
like,
and I want to
like
mess
if
up
you're a
some cake.
corporation, don't mess with Buddy because he will come after you. And if you try to copy one of his recipes.
No, I'll just say your recipe shit. I'll just talk shit about it. Then what?
If you talk shit about it in his face, like, Coach, see you, totes respect.
Yeah, I can make a better cake. Oh, can you not? I can.
Bruh. Okay, I watched this man on TV build an entire moving transformer cake, and it was life-size. Good luck.
Hobokens don't play.
He's a hobo.
No, he's not a hobo.
He comes from Hoboken, the town of hobos. Ah, yeah. I got jokes today, y'all. Y'all can't take a joke, then y'all just Nah.
This was a you laugh, you lose challenge.
Y'all
I lose.
No, you get mad, you lose. You either get offended, or you laugh. But anyway,
I'm not offended. I found it funny.
I know, it was great, wasn't it? From New York City, just across the Hudson River from New York City, the game was governed by the Knickerbocker or Cartwright rules, which later evolved into the official rules used today. So the Knickerbockers came up with the rules of baseball. But the players of that particular game were amateurs who paid membership dues to their respective clubs in order to participate. The first professional league game was played on May 4th, 1871 in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
It's
Auspice.
okay.
Auspice.
So what does it mean? Hit Seymour.
A divine
Token.
It's a token, yeah, babe. Prolific token.
Let me see
I
this.
have to
Hold
spell
That's
on.
literally what it says.
Prophetic. Not
Prophetic.
prolific.
Prophetic.
Okay. I can edit this and just be serious. Just be serious.
Freaky,
I'm
I
so-
love you, dear.
I
I love
know
you.
you
Guys, no.
Be serious. Okay, so it's
Auspicious.
auspice.
Auspices.
It's not
Auspice.
auspice. It's a prolific.
Auspice.
Okay, so
token. I can't pronounce
Auspices.
Under the token of the National Association of Professional Baseball Players, in that game, the Fort Wayne
Kikiongas beat the Cleveland Forest Cities 2-0. What is up with these weird names?
Yeah,
Like,
Kekiongas. You gotta be kidding me. Oh yeah, that's right. There's no such thing as a logo. Baseball.
Kikiongas.
Yeah, they're a baseball team.
Kikiongas.
Kikiongas, yeah, that's how it's spelled. Like Kiki's delivery service, but like Kiki.
No, Kiki's delivery service is Kiki.
Yeah, but
This is
it's
Keki.
Yeah, Kikiongas. This is funny.
Yep.
1871.
Let me guess. Let me guess. The person that came up with the name Kiki Angas, they had a girlfriend. Their name was Kiki, and they had some fantastic bazongas.
Let's see.
They beat the Cleveland Forest City. So I guess it's just a forest in the city. 2-0. The first true Major League game with professional paid players occurred on April 22nd, 1876, when the Boston Red Stockings, which later morphed into the also Atlanta Braves.
Wait, Boston Red Stockings turned into the Atlanta Braves, and we still got the Boston Red Sox?
That's right. That's right. Conundrum, isn't it?
That's a conundrum if I ever heard one.
It is.
Like, it would make more sense. Okay, so follow me here, y'all. Like, please leave a comment in the comments below if this makes sense. Because you would think with something called the Boston Red Stockings that it would be the Boston Red Sox that they ended up being later, but no, they're the Atlanta Braves?
That's right.
Do what?
With the chop.
That makes no sense to me.
It makes a lot of sense. That's like the Washington Bullets turning into the Washington Wizards. Or the Pelicans turning into the Hornets and the Bobcats turning into the Hornets. NBA. Or the NFL. It's another instance where the Houston Oilers turned into the Baltimore Ravens.
Huh?
Yeah. There used to be a team called the Houston Oilers. Look it up, Frankie. Look up Houston Oilers NFL team. They were a blue and red team. And legitimately had their helmets was legitimately oil
rigs?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
There it is, right there. See?
Oh,
I see.
The logo was an oil rig. Oilers.
Literally an oil rig.
Yeah, and they used to be called and then they got turned into the Baltimore Ravens, and then Houston got their new team called the Houston Texans. Changing names is not it's not different. But the Atlanta Braves crushed the Philadelphia Athletics 6-5. The game took place at Jefferson Street grounds in Philadelphia. A lot of interesting stuff, y'all. A lot of interesting stuff. Now.
And now, how to grill the perfect hamburger.
Look how excited she gets.
Because I like grilling burgers. I don't know if anybody else does. I mean, who doesn't?
Meal with a hamburger in it. I'm not gonna lie.
With lettuce, cheese, and lettuce.
How to grill the perfect hamburger.
Well, tell me.
Hamburger.
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 Well, please tell me, Hamburglar.
I love the Hamburglar.
That was pretty entertaining to watch the Hamburglar try to steal hamburgers, and Ronald McDonald would catch his butt every time.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's more American than a juicy burger with all the fixins. So some burgers are so good they make you want to wave Old Glory. Yeah, America, baby!
America, but it's invented in Germany.
Others
By
remind
Germany,
you of Canada and hockey. Too much puck. The perfect patty starts with the right ingredients and calls for flawless, near scientific execution. Here's how to make your country proud. 1. Buy the right meat. You want ground chuck, not ground beef. The former means the meat comes from a single part of the animal. The latter is a hodgepodge of unspecified bits.
Mm-hmm.
Choose meat that is 70 or 80% lean. This also means 20 to 30% fat. Fat is flavor. Fat is juicy. If you are buying from a premium butcher shop, ask for twice ground chuck. The burgers will form better.
Yes.
2. Build a better patty. Aim for a 6-ounce burger. A quarter pound is a tad skimpy. A half pound unwieldy. Avoid adding onions, condiments, and other extras to the meat. But that's what I like to do. I like to chop, really fine, dice some tomatoes and onions and put it in there. It's really good.
But that obscures the product of the meat.
But it also makes it juicy. It still keeps it juicy.
No.
Yes, it does.
No.
Yes, it does. I don't ever hear you complain when I make burgers.
Yeah, but I don't like tomatoes in my burgers. I do. I like my onions.
You never complain.
But I like my onions. I don't like tomatoes.
Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So,
they obscure
flavor and make the burger fall apart.
They do.
Not all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta add breadcrumbs, that's all it is. Handle the meat as little as possible. Use only the amount you need to form a patty. Use a kitchen scale to gauge the correct weight. Roll the meat into a ball between your palms and then flatten it, which is what you see me do all the time. Mm-hmm. Every time we make burgers, I'm doing this number, and then flatten it. Slapping it flat. And then flatten it. Shoot for a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch thick. Gently dent the top of the burger with your thumb to keep it from turning into a balloon when it's cooked.
Oh, I like balloons. I'm a balloon.
Okay, balloon boy.
Mm-hmm.
Pop. I just popped your bubble. Fire up the grill. Use an outdoor grill and don't even think of cooking burgers until the coals are beginning to redden and the grill is so hot you can't hover your hand over it. Brush the grill lightly with olive oil or vegetable oil. Sprinkle the burgers with salt and pepper and lay them on the grill for about 3 to 4 minutes. Wait patiently, then flip and cook for another 3 to 4 minutes. Never press the patties with a spatula, which only squeezes out the juice. Use a meat thermometer to tell if they're ready. It is recommended that you cook ground beef between 160 and 165 degrees Fahrenheit. The former temperature tends to yield a medium rare burger, the latter a medium burger. If you must cook indoors, use a cast iron skillet with a raised bottom that keeps the patty above the grease. And make sure you have plenty of ventilation. Yeah, that's big facts, because like every time we make burgers on like the little grill top thing that we have, the Nordic grill top, which we absolutely love that thing. It's great for like grilling anything on that thing. Or even making like pancakes. Yeah, it's great to make pancakes on. Like, it's awesome. But anyway, you gotta like kind of figure out how to like, make it flat. So you gotta put like a spoon or something underneath there to make it flat. But otherwise, it's great for making pancakes if you don't have one of those like, plug-in skillet thingies. So, little tip there, people. But yeah, the ventilation part, every time we make burgers or steaks indoor on that Nordic grill top, it ends up being like, so smoky in the house. Gotta open all the windows. We got one of those indoor fans that we like put by the window, by the back doors that'll like, vent out even faster.
Oh yeah.
And then work the follow through. Mm-hmm. All the accompanying ingredients should match the quality of the meat. If you're using cheese, it should be thin and sturdy enough to melt on the burger.
Yep.
Place it on the patty close to completion of cooking.
Yep.
Bacon should be prepared ahead of time and served grease-free and at room temperature.
Yep.
Buns should be warm, whether grilled outdoors or heated in the oven.
Yep.
Offer guests a selection of high-quality condiments and fresh vegetables.
That's right.
Onions, lettuce, tomatoes, etc. Pickles.
The good stuff.
Pickles, the good stuff. Especially the Clausen pickles. Those are the pickles you want. They're the best pickles in my opinion.
She likes better than butter.
And Grillo's pickles. Grillo's pickles, like either the spears or the chips, like they're great.
They're right.
You can get those for Costco. You can assemble the burgers as soon as they come off the grill, and perfection. And that is all we have for America Fun Facts for today. Thank you, y'all. We hope you enjoyed this one. Give us a like and a subscribe and
leave a
share.
comment.
Leave a comment. It helps push us through the algorithm. And we'll be seeing you on the next one. And remember to live life with eyes wide open. Thanks, y'all.
Bye.